should you invest in Sword and Shield, or are you potentially too late? Maybe should you just hang the coat and call it a day, knowing that there's some Scar and Vise sets that are about to go parabolic? Is it even worth touching Sword and Shield? Well, that's what we're going to discuss in this video. But hey, before we do, I just want to say, guys, thank you guys so much for the support. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. If you're returning here, thank you guys so much for the support. You guys are honestly all amazing. All the likes, all the comments, it motivates me to make better videos, more of them, more frequently. So thank you guys so much. Alrighty, so before we start this video, I just want to say my position in Sword and Shield, because I feel like it's good if I'm transparent. So I currently have one of all these guys' booster box case, which for anyone who doesn't know what a case is, there are 6 booster boxes in a case. And I have a couple loose Sword and Shield, Fusion Strike, and Lost Origin boxes, right? So, should you invest in Sword and Shield? Are you too late? My answer is maybe. Now, here's the problem. First of all, let's just look at the other opportunities real quick. Paldea Evolved has gone absolutely parabolic lately. Now, I would not suggest investing in Paldea Evolved. Now, unfortunately, if you did see my channel a month ago and you invested then, you would be laughing, because I made a video saying, hey, maybe you should be buying Paldea Evolved, and it was only about, what, 330, or I think it was actually 300 at the time. I can't say for other places in the world, but for Australia, Paldea Evolved was about 300 AUD, and now it's like, what, almost $500 in a month? Instead of FOMOing into Paldea Evolved, I probably wouldn't recommend you do that. What you should do is, instead, you should look at that and go, all right, what other Scar and Vise sets can do the same, and when are they going to do it? Well, I believe the next Scar and Vise set to go parabolic is 151. The reason is because, yes, Paldea Evolved didn't come out like right before 151. Yes, 151 had a couple sets in between, but realistically, all those sets in between are just completely irrelevant. The next good set after Paldea Evolved is 151. Now, I believe 151 will go parabolic in the next 12 to 16 months. I believe within this time frame, I believe that 151 will just go parabolic. I believe the singles will just shoot up like we've never seen before. And I believe that the sealed product is going to go absolutely crazy. There's a good chance that by then it will be out of rotation for prints, and it will be out of rotation for restocks, and it will just be purely up to the secondary market. Once the secondary market figures that out, and once the secondary market figures out that there's no more 151, aka the beloved set that got pretty much most people back into the Scarlet and Violet era, then there's a good chance it's just going to shoot up immediately. So now I've brought this opportunity to your attention, should you even buy Sword and Shield? And my answer would be no. No, you shouldn't. I don't think you should. And I'll tell you why. The problem about Sword and Shield is that you can't compare it to Sun and Moon. What people are doing is they're looking at Cosmic Eclipse being like a $4,000 booster box, Sun and Moon Team Up being like an $11,000 booster box, Unbroken Bonds being like a 2.5k booster box, and Unified Minds being like a 3k booster box. People look at that and then go, oh, if Sword and Shield can do the same, Evolving Skies will be the $10,000 booster box, Fusion Strike will be the $4,000 booster box, Lost Origin will be the $3,000 booster box, and maybe Brilliant Stars will be the $2,000 booster box. That's people's logic. The problem is, Sword and Shield really isn't as good as Sun and Moon. Like, Sun and Moon is actually way better than Sword and Shield, in my opinion. Other than Evolving Skies. We'll get to Evolving Skies in a minute. But if you look at Cosmic Eclipse, there are a million hits inside. There's a ton of beef. There's a ton of room. There's a ton of, like, different hits. You've got, like, Blastoise. Then you got the Zekrom and Reshiram tag team. And you got a ton of different tag team cards inside. Unified Minds, you got a ton of different bangers. All these other sets, you have so many hits inside. Honestly, Sword and Shield is just a couple good hits. Silver Tempest, you've got Lugia. Lost Origin, you've got Giratina. Fusion Strike, you've got Gengar, Espeon, and Mew. Dude, there's not much. There's not much substance to these sets. They're boring. You've got Rainbow Rares, no one cares. You've got these trainers that literally no one cares about. You've got all these different things no one cares about. Sun and Moon is so good. In Cosmic Eclipse, you've got the Rosa, you've got the Blastoise, you've got the Zekrom and Reshiram promo, then you've got all these other different hits inside. That's the thing what makes Sun and Moon so good. I just don't think Sword and Shield is as good, to be honest. Now, here's the problem. People actually disagree with me. People say, well, Sword and Shield is the best era of all of Pokemon. It's regarded as the best era by most people. This is the thing that people don't understand, is that Pokemon tries to top themselves. Pokemon tries to make their next era better than the previous. They do that on purpose. They try to improve. They are getting their knowledge, working out what they can do better, and just implementing it. So the thing is, yes, Sword and Shield is the best era now, but what happens in the future when there's a better era? do you really think Sword and Shield is going to be like regarded as this still amazing era that's never going to get topped? More than likely, no. Now, what I think Sword and Shield has that other eras don't is Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies is phenomenal. I don't need to glaze it. Like, I don't need to explain on why it's amazing. But the thing about Evolving Skies is that it is regarded as the best set. Not of the era, not of the decade, but just in general. Of all of Pokemon, aka the largest IP in the world. So, just to make it clear, Pokemon is the largest IP in the world, and what is regarded as the best Pokemon set is Evolving Skies. That is a huge, like a almost, not backbone, but that is a huge influence that Evolving Skies has. It has a whole, it has all eyeballs are always on Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies could be $10,000 a booster box, and it would probably have, and you would be able to sell an Evolving Skies booster box just like that. It is so fast moving. It sells quick. People want to crack it. People love Evolving Skies. So I wouldn't touch any other Sword and Shield sets. I believe they've gone up way too much to actually touch them. Evolving Skies, I would still touch. Evolving Skies, I would still buy. I wouldn't go parabolic on Evolving Skies. I would buy maybe one booster box. If you can afford like 10k worth of Scarlet Violet, I'd probably say buy one Evolving Skies booster box. But like if you're only working with under 5k, I would probably say just pass up Evolving Skies. I'd probably just say buy 151 Paldean Fates. But basically, here's the thing. Let me basically teach something right now. So basically, you can almost accurately predict when a set is going to go parabolic because it generally takes an X amount of months after its final restock or when it releases. Pokemon seem to be pretty consistent about when they stop restocking an item, right? So I was able to accurately predict the month of when Paldea Evolved would be about the 350 range. Now, I did this a year ago. When Paldea Evolved was $200 a booster box, I was accurately able to predict the month, being March of 2025, that Paldea Evolved would be about the $350 range. Now, how did I do this? Because I basically looked at when Lost Origin was $350 and how many months old that set was. Then I could get that, implement it to Paldea Evolved, and then I could accurately predict when Paldea Evolved would be that range. Now, I was only off by like $20, so I was really right on the money, right? Now, here's the thing. Yes, they were easy to kind of link up together because yes, the top chase had the same artist, so it was they were mutually loved, right? Like if you love Lost Origin, you love Paldea. If you love Paldea, you love Lost Origin because they're quite similar, right? You got one big top chase, people love the artwork, people love the artist, happy days. You can still do the same thing with other sets. So 151 came out 7 months after Paldea Evolved. So then you can look at that and go, if 151 is 7 months older than Paldea Evolved, and Paldea Evolved in the last 60 days have gone pretty parabolic, you can accurately predict that in 7 months, about February of 2026, 151 is going to go parabolic and 151 is going to do amazing. Now this is a Sword and Shield set. Why am I talking about 151? Because if you tie your funds away in Fusion Strike, you quite frankly need to ask yourself, what opportunity cost are you missing out on? Because at the end of the day, if you buy Fusion Strike and you're up 50%, you may think, golly, let's go, I'm up 50%. But then if 151 is going parabolic and booster bundles go from $80 to $200, and then Blooming Waters goes from 160 to 360 or 400, then you might think, okay, 50% actually doesn't seem that good now. Now, that's not what I'm saying you should do 100%, but honestly, the problem is that if your logic is that Sword and Shield is so good, so then the booster boxes will do just so well because it's the best era of all of Pokemon, well, that's not going to hold up because it will be topped. Like, do you seriously think for the largest IP, do you really think that Sword and Shield was it? Do you think that was the peak? No. In fact, there's a good chance that once Scarlet and Violet is done and a good couple years have settled, there's a good chance people are going to actually say Scarlet and Violet was better than Sword and Shield. I honestly could see that happening. I could see people saying that Scarlet and Violet was better than Sword and Shield. I've been saying that for like ages now. I've been saying that for like literally years now that Scarlet and Violet is better. the illustration rares and the amount of SIRs they put in a set is ridiculous. Every single set is jam-packed with hits. Yes, they might not be $500 as raw and then $1,000 as a PSA 10. They might not be ridiculous prices, but hey, at least it's just jam-packed with hits. At least when you open up a Scarlet and Violet booster box, you pull one SIR, a couple illustration rares, you pull a couple full arts, and you feel good about yourself. When you open up Sword and Shield, you feel like you just got robbed. Like, open up a Fusion Strike booster box, and you'll feel like you genuinely just got robbed. Now, why am I singling out Evolving Skies? The reason why I'm singling out Evolving Skies is because Evolving Skies is just such a good of a set. It's amazing. Evolving Skies really, really is absolutely amazing. And I don't have to glaze why it's amazing, but just something that no one really talks about that makes Evolving Skies so good is you get the most influential evolution line, which is evolutions, not really an evolution line, but whatever. You get the most popular type of Pokemon being evolutions, but not only that, they also make two of them in every single form. So you've got Glaceon in V and VMAX, you've got Umbreon in V and VMAX, and then you've got Leafeon in V and VMAX. And this is something that's not really talked about a lot about Evolving Skies, is that they don't really do that at all. Pokemon don't do that. They don't make multiple artworks for the same Pokemon in the same set. They don't do that. But for Evolving Skies, they did. So it makes you think, alright, if they've done that for Evolving Skies, there's a good chance Evolving Skies are going to do some serious numbers in the future. Because it's literally taking the most popular type of Pokemon and then just cranking it up. So that's the thing. If you're not investing in Evolving Skies, I would just not invest in Sword and Shield. I don't think it's worth it. I don't see why it would be worth it. Now, I believe, this is a pretty ambitious prediction, right? But I believe that Evolving Skies will be $15,000 by 6 years. Now, here's the thing. Next year, you have 30th anniversary. So I believe by the end of this bull run, I reckon Evolving Skies will be done in I reckon it'll finish at 5k a box, right? I think that's pretty fair. Once this Pokemon craze is done with and it kind of settles down, I believe Evolving Skies will go up to say 5k, right? Then there'll be, say, 2 to 3 years of flatlining and not really much happening. Evolving Skies will still appreciate during that time. It's not going to tank. Evolving Skies isn't going to go down. So Evolving Skies is probably going to go to 5k. Let's just say it ends the craze on 5k. Then it's going to go to 7k. Let's just say it does a small little appreciation. Every year, the box goes up by 1k. I think that's actually a really fair price to say that it'll go up by 1k. So let's just say it then goes up by 2k, and then the next craze happens. What's going to happen is the 35th anniversary is going to come. No, not the 30th anniversary, the 35th anniversary. We're talking in 6 years. Then I believe Evolving Skies will probably double then. So let's just say it's 7k, I reckon it'll go to 14k. Let's just say it's 8k, I reckon it'll go to 16k. So now that I've been able to explain my logic on why I think it'll be 15k in 6 years, let's then look at Fusion Strike. Do we really think Fusion Strike can actually be 5k? Do we really think Lost Origin, you can get 3 and a bit Lost Origin booster boxes instead of an Evolving Skies booster box? Do we really think Lost Origin will be 4k a booster box then? I'm sorry, but my answer is actually just no. I don't think it will be. But then on the flip side, do you really think 151 packs are still going to be $15 each or $14 each? Or maybe they'll be $50 or maybe they'll be $60. So that's the thing. It's not worth taking that risk on Fusion Strike because it's the opportunity cost. It's what you could have done with the money instead. You just got to think risk-wise, right? I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it in the slightest. I think you should only go for Evolving Skies or don't touch Sword and Shield. Only go for Evolving Skies. If not, buy 151, buy Paldean Fates.